Hi, my name is Jacob Thompson, and I'm the regional director for the state of Utah for Three Strands Global Foundation's Protect Human Trafficking Prevention Education Program. And the Protect program was co-founded with two other nonprofits, Love Never Fails and the Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives, alongside the California Department of Education and the Office of the Attorney General in California. They approached Three Strands Global and we're looking for a way to build a curriculum and training for teachers that could be scalable, that people could be trained in person or online, and that could quickly and easily spread across states, across the country, in order to inform educators and those in the school systems about the hidden horror which is human trafficking, as well as create lessons that are age appropriate, that allow teachers to deliver the pertinent information to students in their classroom about trafficking and about ways in which those online and those in other ways seek to exploit them, and so that they are protected and that they are armed with the knowledge so they can protect themselves as well as protect their friends. According to the U.S. Department of State, human trafficking often goes by the umbrella terms of modern slavery, and it is the act of recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, or obtaining a person for compelled labor or commercial sex acts through force, fraud, or coercion. So we're going to talk about both labor trafficking and sex trafficking in this presentation. Now, this is the local and a global issue, but without proper training, we won't know what to look for and what to identify, because the signs are often right in front of our eyes, especially with children that may be in your classroom. A lot of people have the conception that trafficking is only like they've seen in the movies. If you've ever seen the movie Taken, trafficking, a lot of people in people's minds, has to be done over international borders. Usually happens when someone's abroad. So many times when I am talking about my work with human trafficking prevention, I get asked, what country are you working in? Are you working in Southeast Asia or in Thailand or other places around the globe? And I say, no, I'm working right here in Utah. And that surprises a lot of people. But it's definitely a problem here, and it's a problem that we can only see once we are trained to see it. Because so often this hidden horror is that it's hidden in plain sight. A lot of people think it can't happen here, but it can happen anywhere. This is a map of that Polaris has put out. Polaris is the human trafficking tip hotline. And this shows a heat map with the darker red showing more reports coming in. This is a map from 2017 of tips coming in, texts or calls to the Polaris hotline across the United States. And you can see the change from 2017, and as I flip the map to 2018, you see a significant amount of increase. You see highlights along California, but you also see highlights here along the Wasatch Front in Utah, as that's the population center here. A 13% increase in human trafficking identified through this hotline. But remember, this is only reported cases through the hotline. This is not all of human trafficking cases by far that occur. And it is increasing as people are becoming more aware and as they are being trained in training such as this, provided by Three Strands Global and their Protect program, that they're able to identify victims and potential victims of human trafficking. Now, who are the perpetrators? Who are the ones recruiting, going after your kids, and luring them into this sort of thing? Think in your mind what you might imagine a pimp or a trafficker might look like. The media has a very specific image. if we were to go around the room, I bet a lot of them would include, I don't know, a top hat, a fur coat, a cane, those sort of things. But really, men and women of all ethnicities and all ages can be perpetrators of human trafficking. Some risk factors. You as teachers and educators, here's a list of risk factors for students, young people, to be at risk of being exploited. And trafficking is the specific form of exploitation that we're talking about here, but there are many other forms. And this Protect training not only gives us the tools that we need to protect our students from being exploited through trafficking, but other avenues as well, general exploitation and labor, sex trafficking, and just exploitation in general. Because kids, especially with the internet in their hands, don't always make the best decisions, and it's a tough time being a teenager and growing up. So just as you look through these risk factors, I just want you to think of how many of you have seen these or know students that exhibit these factors in your classrooms or in your schools. So the need for human trafficking training, because all children are vulnerable to exploitation. It used to be when we'd go to when our kids would go to the mall or to the playground, we would warn them that's where they needed to watch out, and that is still true. But ever so often, and increasingly often, our children are targeted through online applications, through the media and the interconnectedness that they feel on their phone every single day. When a kid is home alone in their room, we used to rest assured that they were safe, that there was no one that could get to them and could harm them and could influence them. But with the advent of cell phones and the internet and having that available at all times, that the risk has really come to us, and we as adults, as educators, as parents, we need to realize that traffickers are preying on your kids. They're waiting for them. They are they're on these social media networks, looking for vulnerable kids, and given the time and effort, every kid is a vulnerable kid when it comes to these sort of things, and thus the need for human trafficking prevention training. Now I'm going to go into the Power of the Protect program, because as I've described this problem and how traffickers can go after your children even in their own bedrooms as they interact with people online through these various apps, gaming systems, social media, etc. The Power of the Protect program is that it can empower kids to be aware, because once you've been given information and knowledge, then you can protect yourself, you can protect your classmates. We like to say a protected student, or an educated student, is a protected student, and an educated community is a protected community. So we'll go more into how the Protect program can help address these issues of concern about kids' vulnerability to being exploited over the internet and over other means, and more generally just avoid exploitation in general.